Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm Suzanne Roth-Paul, and I'm a certified primal health coach. And I'm also a certified toxin buster because I'm the author of the Poisons in Your Pantry eBooks. So a lot of people know me as the toxin expert because I am really adamant as a health coach that you read ingredients. So I'm very, very well known in this industry as being an ingredient reader and buster. So this 11-week series that I'm doing, that if you're new to me here today, is on all of the patches in Lifewave's family, and we have 5 more to go. And today we're on our 6th patch product review, which is on the SP-6. Now, if you haven't caught up on all the other patches and you want to watch them, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Suzanne Roth-Paul Lifewave, and you can catch yourself up, which I highly recommend that you do. And subscribe while you're there if you don't mind. But this wearable technology that I'm going to be talking about today from Lifewave is not only safe, but it is so supportive of cell health. And we know that healthy cells are the key to longevity. Now, the big thing that is so important about this patch, besides the fact that I love it, and this SP6 patch, is that it has been so helpful for my own health, but mainly for a lot of my clients that are suffering from weight issues. So I want you heads up for people that have, a little bit of extra weight that they want to lose, or they are suffering from excess weight. This is going to be a talk about how to remove this weight safely when you are doing weight loss, because detoxification is what is so critical when you are doing weight loss and doing it safely. But what I love about this patch is I do get most of my clients, because they're usually women in midlife like myself, and we start with the SP6, believe it or not, and then we add on other patches. But this is the one that I always have people start with, especially if if they're on a budget and they really can only start with one patch. This is what we go to. And the reason for that is because as we age, we get more toxin buildup in our bodies. And so that's why it's so important to have this patch. And you're going to hear about why it is such a good detoxifying support system for our bodies. And it'll help jumpstart your wellness. And it has helped all of my clients considerably who have started with this alongside reading my Poisons in the Pantry ebook, because the other thing that I really want to emphasize here and throughout this is that you are what you eat, and you are what ingredients you're eating. So this is really important that you are reading ingredients and you're knowing what the toxic loads are that you are consuming, because we've got them in our environment, but you definitely, the one thing you can control is the food that you're eating. So let's see, what else did I want to mention about this? That there is one thing that if you did not see the very first video, which was on the energy enhancer patch, that was what launched Lifewave in 2004. And I highly recommend you go and watch that on my YouTube channel, because that's also a patch. I'm not going to be a spoiler alerter here. It's one of the patches that you would want to also use if you are having some weight issues, and it's very supportive with the SP6. Okay, so didn't mention this, but at the very end of our talk today, if a few of you are still available to stick around, I will be opening the channels here for live Q&A. So we can talk about the SP6. You can ask questions, health questions. I'll do my best to answer, but we're going to stick around until you guys have had enough, but less than a half an hour. All right. So I do want to mention here before we get started that this is a product review only and for information purposes, and experiences are from my own opinions, and that this is really what I'm going to be talking about today regarding testimonials. So keep that in mind, that Lifewave is not intended to cure, treat, or prevent any medical condition. We are just supporting symptoms, and that's what we're talking about throughout this product review today, is symptom relief. You always want to consult your healthcare practitioner if you're under any sort of supervision or care to make sure that these patches are right for you. But I will just emphasize that they're perfectly safe. They are non-transdermal, and you don't really need to worry about if you are using them without talking to your doctor first, but always do that. It's very important. All right, so now I'm going to share my screen here and get us started. Okay, everybody can see that all right. That is not what we wanted to see. But if you are on my YouTube channel, you're going to be looking for the series that I've done up to now is Radiant Health with Suzanne, and it's going to look similar to this. I know my virtual assistant is working on, got to find here. Sorry, I can't find my thing here. Virtual assistant is working on a new thumbnail. That's what they look like. All right. Sorry, guys. I am looking for what happened to my cursor. There it is. All right, let's get started. So as usual, we're going to talk about, go through my outline because I love to let you know what's going on and how we're going to be discussing this patch today. So the first thing will be what is the SPC patch? Then we're talking about why wear it. Then how does the patch work? And then where do you wear it once we do find out how it works? And then, of course, we always touch on the signature patch X39 and how supportive it is with all of our patches, but especially the SP-6 today. Then we're going to have a conversation here about who benefits and then our conclusion. And then obviously we'll wrap it up and hopefully have a few of you guys stick around. So what is the SP-6 patch? I'm having a hard time saying that today. Well, it was created in 2007. Now, I mentioned briefly, if you're new to me or you don't recall or don't know much about when Lifewave started, the business was launched in 2004. So this is a really old patch. It's been around for a long time. And what I love is David Schmidt, our founder, he knew how important it was for the type of support we're going to be talking about for our bodies, for longevity, for detoxification, for hormone balancing, happy hormones. If your hormones aren't happy, you're not happy. So this is a really wonderful patch he created early on. And we'll go through here the clinical studies of this patch, which basically means it proves what it's proven that the patch works because there's been studies on how this came to the conclusion that this patch does what it says. Now, after 1 week, they did these clinicals, and you can always find them if you are a Lifewaver, they're in the back office, but there's information about how the tests were done. And after 1 week of wearing, they found that people were having significant organ improvement. Now, if you know about organs, they are key to survival and thriving. And the few that we're going to be talking about today are the detox organs, and that's why this is such a valuable patch to be wearing. So we have our liver, kidney, spleen, and pancreas that was improved considerably after just 1 week of wearing. And it also then supports, of course, other key organs, your thyroid, your adrenal or glands, your thyroid, your adrenals, and your stomach/intestines. So this is important to remember because, of course, our thyroid is our master gland. It's the one that controls all of your hormones. And we have thyroid cancer and we have thyroid issues rampant right now. So many women with Hashimoto's, and they're either too much thyroid or not enough. And it's directly related to our toxic world we're living in and our foods that we're eating. But what is so important is that this patch stimulates very gently and easily and simply and slowly your spleen and your stomach. And what makes this so important, and we'll be talking about the placements of these patches that deal with both of these both of these organs, is the effects it has on your hypothalamus in your brain. So this is really big, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I just want you to know that that's one of the things that this has been proven to do, is stimulate the hypothalamus, which causes just a domino effect of good health when it's activated and healthy. So also we know that this patch complements weight loss, and we know that obesity right now is 70 to 80% of the population is either overweight or severely obese, and that's why there's this crises right now. But there's also medications that are out rampant right now trying to take advantage of it, which is Ozempic, and it is not benign and it is not safe. But this is a patch, and this protocol and using food to control your some of the symptoms, and obviously getting healthy with cleaner foods and less toxins, this is very helpful in a very natural and holistic way, which is what I'm all about. And the other thing is, they're talking about children as young as age 7 are having being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and obesity, and it's really tragic. Now, it also helps reduce cravings and appetite. That's, again, what my ebooks are all about, is it's not necessarily stopping these cravings, and it's not necessarily stopping your appetite. What it's doing is bringing homeostasis to your body and helping balance out those cravings that you have. Now, remember, cravings are a result of too many chemicals in the body or products in the body, like your sugars and your flour products and your simple carbs that are causing you imbalances. So this is really a powerful patch for considering when you're thinking about the foods that you're eating. It's also safe to use. There's no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants with this product. And that's, again, what I love about this so much as a health advocate. Okay. Make sure I go in the right direction here. Okay, so why wear the SP-6? Well, now we're going to dive a little bit deeper about this is a patch that's so supportive of the brain, which I just mentioned about the hypothalamus. Now, the hypothalamus, I want to read here. This is in our clinical studies in the back office that I mentioned you can go look into. The hypothalamus is a small area of the brain, and it's about the size of an almond. So it's not very big, but it's in the center of the brain. And this is what is involved in controlling our automatic regulation of a large variety of physiological functions. And what this means is that it has the job to maintain balance and harmony in our bodies, and why this is so important. And that's, again, why this patch, being non-transdermal, obviously is safe to wear, mildly stimulates specific points on our body when we wear this patch for the spleen and the stomach. And that's what I love, especially because I've always suffered from gut issues, and it really does an amazing job of wearing this patch, of keeping down the bloating and the gas and the indigestion and things like that so many experience. So again, organ cellular support, go down the line here. I talked about the hypothalamus definition, but the organ cellular support is those key hormones, again, adrenals, thyroid, and intestines that this is supportive of. And then obviously the detox organs that I mentioned about, and I'll go back over this. I'm going to bring this home, that when you are not healthy and you're not eating well, your poor liver and kidney and spleen, and of course, the pancreas included too, is all being taxed. It's struggling. It's having a hard time doing its work. And then when you eat really badly and you've got a lot of weight on you, those organs are taxed even more, and they can't get the toxins out fast enough, and that's what causes obesity. It basically doesn't have any place to store it. You're not excreting it, and forget it if you've got constipation or you don't urinate properly or all the time and regularly. So this is why it backs up, gets stuck in the body, and it gets into the fat cells. And so this is really important to remember. The detoxification benefit is obviously overall cell support, and it's all body functions that are required to thrive is what we're talking about today, and why this patch helps support that so much. And of course, homeostasis means that you have an internal chemical balance in your body now. And that's ultimately what you want, because when you're balanced, you're feeling better. When you're balanced, your brain works, your stomach works, the organs are, everything is just humming beautifully like a well-oiled engine. And that's what you want. And basically, this is, our body's life force, which is so vital to thriving and to longevity and to age reversing and just feeling your optimal and looking your best. You've got to have good cellular function of the brain and the organs. Okay, I think I've covered that pretty well now. So how does this patch work? Well, it's based on phototherapy, which is a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation. Sorry, right in front of me, I can't even read it. So Lifewave patches contain very specific combinations of organic materials and nanocrystals. And if you see here on the bottom right, this is what the patch looks like. And I normally have one out on me, but it's a little disc about the size of less than the size of a $50, a little smaller than a quarter, an adhesive back. And we normally wear, one of the best places to wear while I'm thinking about it, I don't have one on because I'm not out in public, is right at our thyroid. And the SP-6 would be great for that because it supports the thyroid. And we wear that a lot because it's an acupuncture point that really does help with protecting you from viruses. And so, if you went to acupuncture, they may put a needle there because you've been unwell, if you've been sick a lot. So this is what they look like. And then when applied near or close to the body or on the body, they're activated by your own body heat, because we obviously are made of light and energy, and our body produces heat. I can put my hand on my shoulder, on my chest right here, and I can feel the heat radiating. They begin to emit, once they're on, a very specific wavelength of light, which stimulates targeted and beneficial biochemical responses in the body. And that's the miracle of these little guys, but you don't actually have to have them on your body adhesively. You could put them, say, for instance, if I have shoulder pain, I could stick it right on my sweater, and it will impact that because it's near to the body. And that's why it's so important to keep these. You wouldn't wear them in your pocket, for instance, because it would activate them. Now, this biophotomodulation is the basis for our Lifewave phototherapy patches and the technology. And also, I just want to mention, in case I forget, I don't say this often enough, but you need to be drinking adequate water when you're wearing these patches, because that is what is helping detoxify you. And you can certainly get Herxheimer reaction which is basically not detoxing too quickly and not excreting the toxins out of your body fast enough. So you want to make sure you stay hydrated and you drink your body weight in ounces, half the body weight in ounces. So if you're 150 pounds, you drink 75 ounces of water. And if you are an exerciser and you sweat more, you want to obviously up the water and put some Celtic sea salt in it, use some electrolytes. You want to make sure that your cells stay hydrated, because when your cells are hydrated, your skin is hydrated. You can tell people that aren't hydrated is they are very wrinkly. Okay, so now we want to talk about the patching of this product. And this is really important because this is where we get into the organ discussion. So you'll see here that we have on the left side, we have something called the SP-6 meridian, which is the lower part of the leg. Now, this is located 4 fingers up from the ankle bone on the inside of the leg. Now, the reason this is called the SP-6 meridian, this is the spleen meridian. And I talked about the organ support that this patch does. Now, your spleen is responsible for the blood purification of the blood purification. Let me get this out here so I don't misread this or misspeak. It's the blood purification that stores and filters all of your blood. The spleen is what makes your white blood cells, which is responsible for infection protection. I like that. And when you're sick a lot, this could possibly be a location to wear. Not possibly, I would say you would want to wear it. And or if you do get sick and you want to move this out faster and support that organ, your spleen, then this is a good place to wear, a good placement to wear this patch. And it's also this part, the spleen is also part of the lymphatic system, which means that's how you detoxify. And so that's when you sweat, your sweat glands under your arms, you've got places around your neck, around your belly button, there's different places on your body that is the lymphatic system. And you want to make sure that you are excreting out your toxins well. And the other thing is that these white blood cells that are part of the spleen organ is for fighting infection. So it's really important to patch for that. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not doing that enough. And obviously red blood cells are what filter out your old cells and your bacteria and viruses. So the spleen is really important. And there are people that don't even have the spleen. And if you Google it, it says you don't need the spleen. I'm like, what? Of course you need the spleen. All of our organs are needed. So you want to protect it. You want to keep these organs clean and humming well. And that's why you need lots of water again. So this is a key thing for detoxing safely. This is a good placement for that. If you have weight issues and you want to detox, all these placements are really good for that. Okay, so next we have the ST36, which is below the knee. And this is called stomach meridian. And again, I talked earlier about the spleen, and the stomach is what these patches or the spleen and the stomach are, when you place these patches here, are what are helping activate the hypothalamus doing its job. So it's all working in tandem. It's a good team. And the stomach meridian is all about digestion issues, heartburn, SIBO, IBS, colitis. You've heard all these terms before, bloating and gas, of course, and any digestion upset. I suffer from this a lot. I've had chronic gut issues from toxic burden loads. I was a medication user as a young girl for skin problems, and I wrecked my gut, which then of course wrecked my brain, because we know that our gut and our stomach has a second brain in it. I hope you've heard that before. So when you're thinking about those cravings that you want, and you're thinking about the fact that you can't break the habit of some of these things that you get yourself into, whether it's chocolate, whether it's bread, whether it's ice cream, that's the stomach controlling your brain, telling it what to do. And that's because it's imbalanced. And you've got, they call it leaky gut syndrome. They call it dysbiosis of the gut. We really have to keep our stomach healthy and well. And so this also is, let me just see here. What did I want to, I want to mention you don't want to be taking antacid. So if anybody has GERD or indigestion or all those things, Rolaids, all of that stuff is doing the exact opposite. It's killing, not only if you have any acid left in your stomach, especially as you get older, it's killing all of the good gut bug bacteria. And so you do not want to be taking those things, and they're not benign. And if you go to a doctor, that's the first thing they're telling you to do. Just pop a few antacids. I know people, I was at the hardware store the other day. So there's primarily men. It's Construction Central in there, construction worker central. And next to the checkout was a huge display of Rolaids and stomach digestion issues, antacids, all of that, because we know that a lot of those workers don't eat well. So that's a problem. They're right next door is a Wendy's. And so you've got that kind of like, oh my goodness, that challenge. And it was just interesting to see at this hardware store that has nothing but things like power tools, Rolaids and digestion things, and even pain medication. I think it was Advil or something. So please take that in mind to be careful what you're feeding your stomach. And let's see. Well, I did talk about it. It activates the hypothalamus that we spoke about. And again, this is placed, this is one thing I want to mention about this point that's really interesting. If you go down to your leg and your knee area now below your knee, there's kind of a soft spot on the outside that this place goes. A couple of, what did I say, 4 fingers down from the kneecap, 1 finger out from the shin bone. If you press into those indented areas, soft part of that leg, upper shin area, if it's sore, you got that's an indication that you've got maybe some liver, some stomach issues right there, and is why it's important to patch it. So those tender spots mean something. Okay, lastly, we want to talk about the kidney 3 meridian. K3 meridian is kidney. And again, these meridians, you guys, these points are based on acupuncture. And if you know acupuncture, you take needles, you put them into the body, they do a little twisting, it doesn't feel great, but that's kind of the same idea here, but it's painless and it's effective, and it's all day long. You get to wear these all day, where the needles are in for, I don't know, they may be a half an hour, and then they take them out and you have to keep going, and it costs a lot. Yes, it works, but it's also very different than what these patches are doing for you. But I just wanted to mention that because the meridians that are going through our bodies, they start at the bottom of our toes and go all the way through the top of our head. And they pass a lot of areas, organs, tissue, bone, all of that is related. And that's what these patches are doing. They're helping to release stuck energy, and they're helping to move that blood flow and move anything that is in those areas that are causing you some discomfort and grief. A lot of people don't even know that's usually the issue. And so keep that in mind, that this is the kidney location that's below on the inside of the leg again. Yeah, the inside of the leg here, right above and next to the ankle bone. It's kind of an interesting place to place a patch, but it's very, very important for the kidneys. And again, our kidneys are our filtration system, and what they're responsible for is filtering out the waste from our blood. So the excretion happens through your kidneys when you urinate. And that's again why water is so important. And think about the people that don't drink water at all, or they're filling themselves up with sodas and drinks and such that are so harmful. And so keep that, very, very important for you if you're finding yourself constipated, or you've got movement issues with the food that you're eating, to be sure that you're hydrating. It's really, really important. Okay, so let's see. Did I have anything else? I did talk about the water, and you don't want to be storing these patches around sunlight or anywhere that is hot, because obviously it activates them, and it can rapidly deteriorate them too, much quicker than you'd want. And let's see, no pockets, because obviously that it activates them as well. And you don't want to store them in an area that is near electromagnetic fields, telephones, Wi-Fi, microwaves, and things like that. I have mine in a dark closet that has a storage unit inside, and so that's where I go. I call it my patch cabinet, is inside a closet. All right. So, well, we would be remiss if we didn't mention the wonderful X39 patch, which is all about David's claim to fame. This baby took 16 years to develop. He started the business in 2004, and in 2019, is that right? 2000, what am I thinking here? 2020 was when it was launched. So yeah, so in a year before, in 2019, this patch was launched, and what has kind of catapulted Lifewave into the spotlight. But this is the patch that is we advise to wear daily, and everybody should be wearing this patch if you're doing nothing else but this one. A lot of people, this is all they wear because they get such great benefit from it. And it is, took David 16 years of research and development to find this very powerful and to create this powerful and effective patch. And it supports a very important signal in the body, which is a copper peptide. Now, this is the copper peptide in the body that actually is a messenger. The patch is a messenger to this copper peptide to tell your dormant stem cells and cells to wake up and get busy doing their work, which is obviously healing you, which is obviously, impacting all of your organs. Like we're talking about, every part of your body has cells that needs to be loved and nurtured. And so this is what this patch is doing. So some of us, it has to work a lot hard because we're not taking good care of ourselves. And for me, the patch, it took me 6 months before I really noticed anything with the X39, but the main thing was my hair. So I've never worn my hair long like this. Usually I wore it really short, and the COVID just allowed me to I couldn't get in to get my hair cut. So it's kept my hair as healthy as can be, but also I stay blonde year round. Normally I'd get mousy gray or mousy brown in the winter. So I'm noticing that my color stays longer. People have all kinds of wonderful experiences with hair growth, with obviously volume of their hair, and just in general can help people with balding issues, and just, a myriad of things. But the main one is pain relief, inflammation reduction, wound support. You can see here the list goes on of all of the benefits of this amazing patch. And this is why we want ourselves to stay youthful, that this is the patch that helps with profound effects of your skin, your organs, and your tissues. So we definitely recommend this patch to be worn with every day and with all of our signature patches. Okay, so who benefits from this patch? Well, I always say this a lot, everybody and everybody, literally and figuratively, because it's very supportive of the brain. We've talked about the hypothalamus, homeostasis. One of the things that, is brain trauma and issues at the moment is a lot of depression, anxiety, and obviously past traumas that people are just haven't dealt with. And that's what causes a lot of disruption in our ability to function properly. So mental health issues are on the rise. So nervous system support is another thing that the SP-6 can help support. And so getting that body in balance is so critical for emotional and physical reasons. Obviously, chronic and acute conditions. We talked about a little bit about obesity. This is a great support for that. Mental health issues, because obviously this is supporting overall wellness in our body, detoxification. What you eat affects your health, your mental health, and of course, organ issues. Now, malnutrition, what am I talking about there? Well, a couple of things that the SP-6 can do. If you're obese, it can help help you with satiation needs and obviously cravings. If you're elderly, you don't eat enough. So the SP-6 can help people in getting their appetite back. I've seen it happen with a couple of senior clients. And any type of food disorder, if you're bulimic or you've got all of these, addictions or, of issues with certain foods. I particularly have a lot, but this is something that's a really good patch for that because it's got so many hormone regulating and supportive qualities. Stomach issues, I mentioned that. I have a tummy protocol that I'm using for flat tummy, and I use the SP-6 on that. It's really helping. I have SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Since I've been doing this protocol, I'm feeling so much better. I am doing a parasite cleanse because that's one of the reasons that we do get stomach and digestion issues. A big one is vegetarians and vegans because they are not getting the animal products that help support our brains, which then in return help support our hormones. So hormone balancing is so important. So think about that if you are someone that doesn't eat meat, or if you don't eat a lot of it. This is a supportive patch for that. And then obviously, it can help support weight issues. A lot of vegetarians and vegans are overweight because they're eating too many simple carbs. Their bodies are starving. They're not getting enough nutrition. Vegetables just don't have what animal products do. Our brains need vitamin D. Our brains need that support. Go back and listen to the carnosine talk I did last weeks ago, because that is all about why carnosine is actually what we get from animal products. And you need that, especially as a vegetarian. That's a good support patch as well. Brain fog, fatigue, and hair loss. Those are things that I hear a lot about from vegans, especially because they're just not getting the nutritional support. But it also is because they're eating foods that are chemically altered and made to look like dairy, taste like dairy, look like milk, taste like milk. Oh my goodness, the ingredients on those products are horrible. Because I don't do dairy and I don't do cheese, and they have a couple of products out there that are really tasty, but they're full of artificial flavors and coloring, and just it's not even that. They're being used with they're using products like nuts and cashews. We're never meant to eat that many nuts. You're only supposed to have a small handful a day, and people are drinking them by the gallons, which is really causing a lot of autoimmune issues and dysregulation on the body. Specialist, if you are a brand partner that would benefit from this, or people that are into weight loss and hormones. So, there's lots of specialists that deal with hormones. And so this is a really good target market to reach out to, and even to, just think about it, that's you are in that industry. This is a great patch to share with your community and your clients. A gynecologist, of course, because of hormone balancing and women's midlife issues and weight issues. And then, of course, health coaches. We all love these patches for that. So anybody and then alternative medicine people. That's really, really important, that not enough of them know about this product. So in conclusion, we know that the benefits are vast. I know we're getting down to the wire here. Let's see our time. Yep, it's over after 5:30. I'll get through this pretty quickly. Organ detoxing, cleaning the blood. This is a really important that our brain, and what's so important about this hormone balancing in SP-6 is it affects it really is our eyesight, our emotions, digestion, and then brain health. And so if you know people that are like having eye issues or having emotional outbursts, angry people. Have you been around a lot of angry people lately? I certainly have. That's organ dysfunction. They have either their kidneys or their liver are really challenged, and that's what causes explosions, and very impatient, angry people. So keep that one in mind. I think that's fascinating. And I have to pay attention to it because I explode sometimes. I'm like, oh, my liver needs some love. This is affordable. It's less than a cup of coffee a day to use these patches. And what I love too is you can carry them everywhere. I have my little patch pouch. And I know if you know me, you see I'm always bragging about the fact that I always have these on me with a little label of all the different patches. And that when I travel, I can pull them out and I can share them with others. And I'm always patching strangers. It's just quite funny. If I see somebody in pain, I'll give them a patch, and they, can go about their way, but it's basically something you can do for yourself for emergencies or others. We mentioned about hormone regulation. Oh my goodness, teenagers. Wouldn't this be amazing if I could have had this? And that's when all my health issues started, was when I was a teenager, change of life. And this would have been the patch for me. Oh my gosh, if I could have had something like this, even just 10 years ago. Teenagers, parents, because, obviously we're dealing with teenagers, but we're also going through midlife issues, menopause. Women love this patch. I told you about that for perimenopause and post. Again, this is when all of my crises happened, was in perimenopause. I was having so many issues. Parents, I do emphasize this to parents today. Please, please, please consider patches like this and Lifewave for over harmful medications, and looking for safer options. This is the thing to be using for sure. I've helped so many people get off of chronic medications, and even avoid some surgeries, because we just give the body the time to do its own healing. That's what the patches are about. They're all just supporting your body to heal itself naturally. And when given the opportunity, getting the crap out, putting the good in, and using something as simple as these patches to help support it, you are really, light years ahead of most people. And so obviously long-term harm mitigated by medications, which is what happened to so many people that I know that are in our 50s and 60s. That's what happened to me. But the long-term benefits are just incredible, not to mention longevity with helping your cells, because, happy cells are happy bodies. So food is always your first line of defense. I can't say that enough. You don't want chemicals, colors, dyes, or anything that's got a list of ingredients that's paragraph long, or you can't read them. That's a definite sign that it's time to put that package processed food back on the shelf and get to using food that is real and whole. Okay, so I'm going to stop my share here, and I hope you can see me in wrapping up here. So important thing is that when you're considering your health right now is, looking deeply at what the root cause is, because that's what I'm all about. And that's what my Poisons in the Pantry ebook's all about too. But root cause, there's always a root cause. So if you've got weight issues, you've got organ issues, you've got, fatigue, you've got whatever the situation is, it usually can be tied back to something you're eating or a toxin burden load in your body. Those are two choices. That's usually it. And the only thing you can control right now is your diet. So I thank you for being here, and I'm excited to, potentially have a few of you stick around. We can talk a little further if you'd like to. But if you are new to Lifewave and you're watching the recording, or somebody has shared this recording with you, or even here today, please reach out to the person who invited you. And if I am your source. I'm happy to talk. I'm happy to continue the conversation. You can find me on my YouTube channel. I do encourage people to go there first so that you can watch all the videos about Lifewave. Suzanne Roth-Paul Lifewave. And in the bio of all of the videos, you can find my Poisons in the Pantry ebook links. You can find my website, secretstoroadianthealth.com, and a way to reach out to me. So again, thank you so much for being here. And, one of my colleagues, she's one of our senior presidential directors. We changed the name of that, but let's just say she's a very senior person with Lifewave. And she just says, if you are wanting to age, then don't wear these patches. We love to say that because it has certainly done an amazing number for me. I'm 60 and I would never go back to my 40s, which is when I was suffering so much and had so many health issues and certainly didn't look as healthy as I do today. So thanks again for being here.